Time check. It's 8 minutes past 7 p.m. Ghanaian time. You are live on a 24 radio, and this is Hour of Awakening and Empowerment. We come your way every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Ghanaian time to awaken the spirits within us and to know who and what we are. Today on the show, the topic is amazing, confusing, and interesting. And you will know why. The topic is embrace the life in death. Embrace the life in death. The speaker is Sister Jessica Boifio. So I'm sure we will understand why we have to embrace life in death. We thought death was the cessation of life. And she's saying that we should embrace life even in death. This can only come from a Nigerian mission. Let's link up with Jessica. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm God glorified. Please, can you amplify your voice? Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
How was your day?
It's been a very good day, very productive. I hope your day has been great as well.
Yes, I've been quite busy. And, well, I visited a friend. I'm not even home. It was time for Hour of Awakening and Empowerment. Your topic is very intriguing. So I decided to host a different place today, together with my friend. So, over to you as you take us through your topic, embrace the life in death.
Yes, thank you very much. And so I welcome you to Athenian Mission, the Center for Spiritual Empowerment. Our vision is that of a unified world in which everyone is a catalyst that's activating and promoting the innate spirit in one another. Please join us to raise such a world. Imagine a world in which the good that I am is inviting the expression of the good that you are. And the good that you are is calling forth the good that I am to express. And so if I find something in you, I promote it. And if you find something in me, you promote it as well. This is the beautiful world that you and I are here to create. A Athenian Mission in Ghana is located on the General Highway next to the Royal Filling Station at Sakuman. In Accra, our telephone numbers are 0264 177 and 0548 177 These are also our WhatsApp numbers, and so if you're interested to be on any of our platforms so that you can receive our daily and weekly lessons, you can join these numbers. And if this work has been beneficial to you or is beneficial to you, and you want to contribute to this spiritual work that nourishes your soul, you can send your contributions in through the same mobile numbers. These are also our mobile money numbers. We appreciate your support. In Ghana also, our Takane branch is located on Davis Street in the Anaki Estate. And the telephone number is 0561 166 330. Our Takane branch is located on Davis Street in Anaki Estate. You're welcome to fellowship with us at the Delport Hotel behind Dr. Pedu in Adiamba. The telephone number is 0561 166 331. In the UK, we have a branch at 58 Bush Park Avenue in Mitcham, Surrey. And the postcode is CR42DG. And the phone number is 0208 646 129. God bless you. And so today we delve into a topic which is embrace the life in death. And this topic came about because I have been pondering over death for quite a bit over the last few months. And I have come to be incredibly comfortable with the idea of death and the concept of death. I realized that I'm no longer afraid of what death is. And I hope that by us going through this topic, you will reach the same destination that I come to, when you just embrace death as an integral part of life and you continue to work with it as a partner and not as the enemy. Now, death for a lot of us is synonymous with grief, it's synonymous with uncertainty, it's synonymous with pain. When we think about death, we think about losing loved ones, and the thought of it is incredibly unbearable to us. And so we usually talk about death as the enemy, and we say death is it's icy cold hands on our loved ones. And nobody ever wants to run into death or remotely think about death as anything good. And it's quite understandable because as human beings, we're hardwired to survive, right? We're hardwired to continue moving on. And death for us threatens that. For us, it threatens the stability of our belonging and connections to other people. It threatens our sense of being able to sustain ourselves beyond a certain time. And so everybody is running around trying to find the elixir of life to live forever. I don't think that anyone wants to live forever. We shouldn't want to. So we know that death is inevitable, but then we're constantly fighting it. We're constantly running away from it in search of the illusion of physical immortality. But all that this does to us is to put us on edge. It makes us afraid. We're constantly living like there's someone somewhere waiting to snatch whatever we worked for from us. And that also happens because when it comes to associate life with amassing material things, amassing wealth. And so the idea of something taking all of that from us just tells us so much that we run away from it. But at the core of it too, we know that it will come. We know that we will die. And we know that even before we die, we will most likely experience people around us dying. And I'm sure a lot of us have experienced that already. And so my question to you is, if you know that it will come, and you know that you will go, and everyone else will go, what's the point in running so far away from it? Why do you now decide, well, death, if you're going to come, I might as well attempt to understand you, understand what you are, understand what you represent, and try and see how I can work best with you. We think of life and death as polar opposites, right? Those think life is light, the good things, and death is darkness, the bad things. At least life and death are one and the same. You cannot separate them. In life, there is death, and in death, there is life. For there to be life, there must be death. And for there to be death, there must be life. Think about it. How you're going to get a whole plant of corn that's going to be the fruit that you enjoy so much. If a seed of corn doesn't die in the soil to itself, it doesn't shrivel up and dies, that new life, which is even more abundant, will come out of it. Life and death are absolutely linked, and the philosopher Khalil Gibran took so succinctly when he said that they're like the river and the sea. They flow into each other. You know, they give each other meaning, they give each other life, they make each other better. And so to understand what either one of them is, you need to ask what the other is. To understand what life is, you need to ask what death is, and vice versa. When you think about it as well, the moment that you start moving, you start dying. When a child exits the womb, it has died too, and it has begun living in this life that we know it as. If the child does not die from the womb, most likely cannot survive here. And so it is absolutely necessary that it dies from the womb. And as you live, bits and pieces of you die continuously. You're already an expert at this dying game. You're already playing around with death, but you just haven't come to grasp that it is death because you don't want to. When your skin sheds, it is a form of dying. You do realize that, right? Can you imagine having 16 years of the same skin cells under your foot? Can you imagine how hard your feet are going to be and how uncomfortable it will be to walk? But life in the sense that there needs to be a shedding process, there needs to be a death that happens so that it can continue to live its possible best way that it encountered. Emotional and mentally, you die. You die every day to your old ways of thinking. You die every day to your old ways of feeling. I'm pretty sure that there's no one of us who still holds on so strongly to whoever you are first and foremost. And what's the feelings that you had when you were romantically involved with that first person is dead and gone, or it has died and has become fertilizer to the new love that you're experiencing. So for you to now understand love in a deeper manner, in a deeper form, the old way of thinking about love, the old way of experiencing love had to die. And so we also die spiritual deaths. You know, you die to old ways of thinking about what God is, what life is, as you live, and you experience new ways of experiencing God. And you won't be able to do that unless you die to it. And so, at the risk of sounding very morbid, we have had great practice at the death game. And this is just a reminder for you to keep going. Because I think that for a lot of us, when it gets to the grand moment where your mortality is questioned, where you have to exit this earth plane, that is where the actual real fear steps in. And so I'm going to attempt to explain to you or share with you what death is. Okay? Death to me is, and we've heard many times, death is a transition, death, you know, it's moving from one phase of life into another phase of life. That's true. But at the core of it, death to me is the ultimate surrendering to life. Why do I say this? In death is when, let me rephrase this. Death is the ultimate surrendering to life. It is the crowning, if you will, of all the effort that you have put into living. Do you understand that? At the point of your death is when the question is going to be asked: has she or has he lived a life that is worth maybe that's achieved, or someone has been trained to be achieved, right? You're taking through the entire process. And then it gets to the point where it seems that you're worthy and you've done the work and you understand what the training was about, and so now you deserve to be crowned. Yes, death takes you into even a higher realm. And to me, it is a crown. To me, it is you have lived so fully, so holy, that life says, I'm ready to call you home because you contributed to me in such a way that even when you're gone, I still feel your impact. And so death is not necessarily a finality. It is not necessarily an end. When you think about yourself dying, if anyone were to ask you to think of yourself and say, look at yourself, imagine yourself dead, what's the picture that comes to mind?
Father, Mother God, lift my vision beyond duality and seeming opposites to that sacred vision of your one and indivisible self. Oh God, grant me the blessed vision that sees only your divine presence in and through all of life. You are the only power without opposite. There is nothing else besides you. You encompass the earth, the solar and other starry systems and galaxies. You alone are God. To you I surrender always, and from you I draw my power. So now, my spirit rises with the spirit of life, and the sound of my voice echoes in the hearts of all men.
all that there is. Time when there is a sense of spark within them, who wants to be more expensive. I want to talk to all
our shades of what God is, all our rays of the one light. We are all divine sparks of the one light that God is. To know this truth and to know this happiness, just see the good and the divine that you are.
Father, Mother God, lift my vision beyond duality and seeming opposites to that sacred vision of your one and indivisible self. O God, grant me the blessed vision that sees only your divine presence in and through all of life. You are the only power without opposite. There is nothing else besides you. You encompass the earth, the solar and other starry systems and galaxies. You alone are God. To you I surrender always, and from you I draw my power. So now, my spirit rises with the spirit of life, and the sound of my voice echoes in the hearts of all men.
God is all that there is. God is all that life is. All our shades, God is.
to realize what good it was to the people around him or her. And it's also given me a certain renewal, it's given me a certain refreshing of the fact that I need to do more, I need to do more, that I can do better. You know, it makes me question, it makes me ask myself, when I die, what is it that I want to be remembered for? You know, when I die, what do I want to be remembered for? And then there's a certain fire that burns within me to go out there and do all the things that I want to be remembered for. And so what death does for me, it gives is just to whisper to me, look, here's the grand life that you can live. Here's how you can live. I'm coming, I will be here. Whether it will be soon, whether it will be later, I will be here. And here's yet another opportunity. You can do more. You can do better. This is the gifts that you need to take from life. And there's a scientist, Richard Dawkins, I'm sure that a few of us have heard about him. He said, and I quote, we get the opportunity to die And that makes us the lucky ones. Most people are never going to die because they are never going to be born. The potential number of people who could have been here in my place, but who will in fact never see the light of day, outnumber the sun rays of Arabia. This is very deep. And we just go into what I said about death is really just the acknowledgement of the gift of life that we have. And so the important thing here is for you to live in such a way that you're experiencing both life and death at the same time. When you're fully aware, right, that you're not just exclusively living, but in your living moments, you're dying. And in the moments where you're dying to yourself, you are living. That is when you're truly, truly living. And I'll give you a possible example. If you're in an abusive relationship, for example, you don't know how difficult it is to get out of a relationship such as that, where you feel powerless, you feel like you've been stripped of your agency, who you are, and you're going to sit in there and hold on to it. And that's what a lot of us do. We try and hold on to life. And we say, I want to go. I know that I must really should let go. I don't want to go because what if? It's the fear that drives it, right? And so you're in this abusive relationship and you're sitting in it. And it's eating away at you. It is reducing you. It is shrinking you. You're becoming a shadow of yourself, a skeleton of yourself. The very moment that you break through and you allow this relationship to die, and you gather the courage to get up and leave, what you don't realize is that in that moment, you have died to that abusive relationship. You get up and leaving is you choosing to die to that relationship. And in having that courage to die to that relationship, it might take a while. It might take a very long time. But by dying to it, gradually, you're renewing the life within you. Gradually, you're returning to the wholesome person that you are. And you realize that the wind, you feel the wind beneath your wings, and you start to live life in an exuberant way. Life becomes exciting for you again. In your death, you receive life. In you holding on to the life of that relationship, you're dying. Do you see how inextricably linked life and death are? Your life is only valuable because you will die. Imagine if you knew that you're going to live forever. Things that are important to you, things that you make sure that you achieve, the way that you make sure that people around you feel loved by you, the way that you make sure that the gifts that you have, you share with the world, because really, that's what life is all about, just being in service to life and sharing yourself with life. If you didn't think that you would ever die, would you live with such parents? I can bet that anyone's answer is no. You wouldn't. Because you would live in a very relaxed manner because, well, there's a lot more time. There's no need to rush around and do what you have to do. But death gives you a reminder that it will come on your door. And so you must do what you must quickly, effectively, and join it as you do it. And therein lies purpose. So death gives you a sense of purpose. And life's ultimate meaning remains incredibly obscure unless it is reflected upon the face of death. We have to think about what life means. And so this brings me to my second part of today's topic, where I'm suggesting that we become friends with death. And this is going to be difficult to do. But when you think about your friendships, what do you think about? To cause your friendships to grow, you're constantly checking in with your friends, you're constantly asking how they're doing, you're constantly trying to make sure that you're okay, that you're important to them, and vice versa. That's exactly what you should do to become friends with them. Okay? And there's a very simple exercise that I want you to go about in becoming friends with them. It's rather as simple as sitting down and having a conversation with them. I want you to dialogue with them. But before you even dialogue with them, I want you to imagine that you're now told exactly when you're going to die, exactly how you're going to die. How does that make you feel? You'd like to know that. You'd like to know that you die in the next 10 minutes and this is the way you're going to die. Is that giving you control that everybody wants to have? However, if I told you that you might not know for sure, then you can't create it for yourself if you befriend death. And once you befriend death, death no longer becomes this ominous presence that is about to steal away from you. Death becomes your companion. Death becomes that which you walk side by side with. You begin to see moments of death in your everyday activity. And now it becomes just one of those things. So that when the time comes, you're ready to know the death. So sit down and speak with death. And really, it's just about asking questions. Ask whatever questions you want to ask. Why do you exist? What is the purpose of your existence? Why do we have to die? And you notice asking questions about giving death opportunities to answer you. Death will answer you, right? Because it's a spirit force just like you're a spirit force. And so it's energy, right? So if you train yourself to be able to listen in, to be able to attune yourself to hear the answer that death has for you, you will come to a certain understanding of what death is and why it is necessary to embrace it. So sit with death. Ask death all questions that you want to ask. Allow death to ask you questions if it has questions. And if you think that this is weird, really just find people or something in the chair, sit opposite it, and ask the question. All I'm saying is ponder on what death is. When you switch your attitude towards death from one of fear and anxiety to one of curiosity, it becomes a lot easier to handle. When you talk to people who have come close to dying, and you was also dying, if they no longer have fear of dying, they actually avoid it. Because they go out to the world and they attack my parents when I need to be most like when my friend death is mine, I'm more than willing to walk with it and say, I'm ready, let's go, so that I may continue on in the next world. Because you never really see living. You're just going to continue living, but in another form. Okay? And when you come to that awareness, you're not afraid to go, you're not afraid to die. It's actually very liberating when you get to that point where you realize that death brings you numerous gifts. When you realize that death is not your enemy, that it is your friend, it is your companion. When you realize that you have that baby, someone had to go. Create space. Otherwise, this earth would be crowded. And so you could have bundle with joy, but most probably was because the space was created for you. And so for that, you should be grateful to death. You should be grateful to death that it managed to get the baby out to be born, that the dad to be born, so that you could experience the beauty of a child, experience always that you're being put. And this can be applied to all other areas of life, financial life. We have habits that are not serving you right. Should God's business, let us start so that you get a new sense of living and the new habits that you form that will give you what you want to see. And when you start to live in this manner, when you start to live understanding that death is really just a part of life and you should be ready for it at any point in time, your life becomes more meaningful. You become more compassionate towards other people. You become more compassionate towards yourself. You know, you no longer see life as a race where you need to outdo the other person, because you understand that life is really only about improving yourself. Here in Athenian Mission, we have a saying that goes that there comes a time called death where you realize that nothing that you have is yours, not your car, not your wife, not your kids, not your money, not your friends. All you have is yourself. What are you? And these are the questions that come when you ponder over death, when you dialogue with death, and begin to understand who you are in your spirit as a person. And all they're talking about are the gifts that death brings to you. And so by embracing death, you're embracing these gifts, and you begin to live life anew. You begin to think, if I can't go with my money, if I can't go with my cars and my mansions and my wife that I'm so jealous when other men look at, I should be focusing on making myself a better person. I should be focusing on expanding on the gifts that life has given me, that God has breathed into me. And your life just changes for the better, because life is now a journey of possibilities. It is a journey where you are expanding yourself so that at the moment of death, you can look back and say, wow, I have lived an amazing life. That's what you should aspire to. Okay? And here's another exercise that I want you to embark on. Sit down and imagine yourself. I mean, a lot of people, when you ask them when do you want to die, they say, I want to die by the age of 70 and 80. So imagine yourself at the age of 80 when you're ready to finally die. Okay? And begin to look back at the life that you would have wanted to live. What impact would you have wanted your life to have been to the people around you? Think on that. At age 80, when you claim that you'll be ready for death when it comes knocking, what impact do you want your life to be? And now, as that has come to your mind, what do you have to do to be able to have that impact that you want your life to be to life? When you sit down and you think about all of this, I would advise that you, again, another practice, sit down and write out your life story. And the life story is what we usually call the obituary. And I know that a lot of us are going to be like, hey, why should I sit and write my own obituary? That's me calling death for myself. But then if you're reacting like that, it means that you haven't understood yet what we're talking about. And it's okay. But it's literally you writing what you want your story to be, what you want your life story to be, what you want to be remembered as and by. So sit, write your obituary, write, how you passed away, what life you lived before, in between that, what impact you had. And occasionally take it and read through and see, question yourself and say, am I living a life that honors what I want this life to be in the grand scheme of things? Play around with death and just engage yourself in all of these things. And then we're going to take it one step further. After you have gone to 80 and you've looked at the impact you want to have on life, now go beyond the grave. What is your life beyond death? Your body being in the grave. What is your life beyond that? Take a moment and think about this. Ponder over it. And you can only do this when death really and truly has become your friend and you're not afraid of it and you're more than willing to embrace it. And you're willing to say, hey, I'm ready to do this journey with you. Let's embark on it together. And you're not doing it alone. The trees are doing it constantly. They're shedding their leaves constantly. The animals are doing it with you. You're not alone. Life is doing this life and death thing with you. And so there really is no need to be afraid. You enjoy fruits from trees because, some carcass somewhere may have turned into fertilizer and the tree roots managed to get through to it and you've gotten fruits. You are benefiting from death every day, every minute, every hour. Why run away from something that is so beneficial? No one's asking you to look to kill yourself actively. No, all I'm doing is letting you know that in death there is life. And so channel that fear of death that you have that is holding you back from being your best self possible. Channel it into living your best life possible so that when death comes knocking, you're more than ready to go because you have lived an amazing, wonderful life that life itself will boast about and will sing about, and the choir of angels will gladly sing about. That is all I ask of you today. Embrace the life and death. There is so much life in death for you to waste it being afraid of it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Jessica. That was phenomenal, and our listeners and viewers had a lot of questions, and I'm
Okay.
sure you were listening it. Because the topic itself is a question on its own. As in the topic death is a question on its own.
Yeah.
So you should expect these. Okay, so if you want to join us by phone and you're in the US, 00131 563 64063. 00131 563 64063. If you're in the UK, 020 8144 8180. If you're outside of the UK, 00440 208 144 8180. 00440 208 144 8180. And our sister is ever ready to answer your questions.
Of course.
I'm sure you noticed she really understands the topic. She knows what it's about. Feel free. Ask all the questions on your mind concerning this. Okay. This is from Mary in Finland. She says, you have come and you've come to life. You've lived. You are dead and gone. Why should you be remembered? Why should you be remembered?
Why should you be remembered?
Yes.
I'll tell you a thing about life. Life didn't bring you here just to be a spectator. You weren't brought into life to be a spectator. Life brings into itself that which will promote it, that which will make it better, right? And so if life has chosen you and says, I want you to do this journey with me, that I will become better by your existence, why should you play it small? And so you need to live in a manner that is worthy of being remembered. And what that means is that you're leaving a legacy. Because when you have left a legacy, it means that you have improved upon life. It means that you have truly satisfied the reason why you came here on earth. And this is an innate desire in everybody. You might sit down and say, I don't want to be remembered. But maybe you don't want to be famous like the way the superstars are. Maybe that's not your thing. Are you trying to tell me that you don't want any of your family members, any of your children, any of your grandchildren to remember that this human being walked the face of this earth, and this is the impact that they had in this life? Even as you live, a lot of the time when you do good things, it's for selfish reasons, divinely selfish reasons, right? It's because you want to feel good about the good that you're doing. It's because naturally you're a good person on the inside, and your drive is to improve on life and improve on the lives of the people around you. And so you're drawn to doing that. It is in your very nature to want to do good, to improve upon life, and to be remembered for it. And remembering it doesn't mean that people should know your name. There are thousands, millions of people who have died, and nobody ever remembers their names. But their lives served as some sort of inspiration for some persons whose name is being remembered now. And that's the sort of remembrance you want. A remembrance in terms of the impact of your life being felt, and not necessarily your name being etched in the sands of life. If you don't do this, really, have you lived? Have you lived, or have you just survived? You have just come, eaten, mated, and died and gone. Do you want to be a waste of space here? Or do you want to be that spirit force, that energy that actually moves things and cause things to happen? And I think that Mary knows the answers to that. But truly, she wants to be remembered as someone who touched, even if it was just one person's life. She wants to be remembered as that. It's her very nature.
Wow. Jake in Ghana, Accra, he says, why should I embrace death? Let me even go what he said. Hey, madam, why should I embrace death? Hey, madam, why should I embrace death?
Well, I mean, we've spoken at length about why you should embrace death, but if I had to summarize it, it's because death is not the enemy that we think it is. Yes, death takes away, but that's only because that's how we understand things. You're either given something or it's taken away from you. But death brings in its wake a lot of different gifts that we mentioned in here. One being that it brings about renewal. There needs to be death so that new life can come about. You need to embrace death in your life, in your various habits, so that you can have new habits, that you become a better person to yourself and to those around you. Embrace death because it causes you to sit and question yourself and want to be more of the goodness that God is as your life. This is why you should embrace death, because it comes with its so many gifts that you need, that will be very useful to you in living a very fulfilling life. So embrace it wholeheartedly.
Embrace it wholeheartedly. Finland, he said, can one consciously choose when and how to die? Can one consciously choose when and how to die?
My answer to that, my very simple answer to that is yes. Yes, you can. You're free and at liberty to choose and decide when you want to go and how you want to go. What that does for you is that it puts things in perspective for you. As to whether you're going to leave at that specific moment, there are a lot of different factors that come into play, right? But I would suggest that everybody actually does this, that you choose and decide, I want to die at this age when I have accomplished so, and I want to go in this manner. Because all it does for you, like I've said, perspective, it prepares you. You're ready for it. So when you exceed the time frame, well, you have been ready for it. So when it comes, you're willing to go. If you don't exceed the time frame, in your mind, you know that death is going to come knocking, and you have consciously chosen that you want to participate actively in death's activities with you. And so you'll be more than ready to go with it as well. But yes, you can consciously choose when to go and how to go. And I advise strongly that you do so. It helps you live. Look, it shapes you and directs your focus, directs your energy, and propels you in the direction that your spirit wants you to go, you know? And so it's a very great exercise to engage in.
Great. Emmanuel comes back to say, can the fear of death have any impact on one's life? Can the fear of death have any impact on one's life?
Yes, Emmanuel, yes. The fear of death is actually what kills more people than death itself. You know, there was a story about death being sent out to take a number of lives in a certain village. And when it got to the entrance of the village, the chief priest of the village stood there and said, Death, how many people have you been assigned to take? And Death gave it its number. Let's say it was taken 10. And it says, okay, the chief priest says, okay, Death, I have seen your documentation and I agree that you can only take these 10 people. Make sure you don't take any more than 10. And Death says, but of course, I do my work very efficiently and effectively. And so Death goes into the village and Death takes the 10 people. On Death's way back, at the entrance again, the chief priest stops Death and says, my friend, when you came in here, we agreed that the number you were taking is 10. How come we have 300 people who have died? And Death said, well, I had nothing to do with that. I took the 10 that I was assigned to take. It's the fear of death that the people had that caused the rest of them to follow me. When you're afraid of something, and this is not even about death, just look into your life, the very simple, small things that you're afraid of doing. If you're afraid of asking your boss for a promotion, even when you know that you're deserving of that promotion, what does it do to you? It cripples you. It cripples you. You're not happy at work, and so then your productivity reduces, and then eventually they're going to kick you out of your job because you're not doing what you're supposed to do because you were afraid to take that bold step. You're afraid to go and ask that woman or that man and tell them, you know what, I think I really like you and I would like to be with you. And so you sat back and some other person who had the courage to do so won the love of your life's heart. And you're sitting down and looking and deciding, oh my God, life hates me, women hate me, and then you become a disastrous person. Who did it to you? It's the fear that you allowed to swallow you up. Fear is a very potent force that, if not managed well, will just cripple you, will just shrink you, and you become a shadow and a skeleton of yourself. So yes, the fear of death can very easily cause you to fall sick, cause you to lose things that are important to you, because then you become very fixated on the idea of losing everything. And so you become a hoarder, and people around you are not going to want to be around you because, oh my God, who wants to be around someone like that? The fear of death can even cause you to die.
because you're so fixated on death, and all you constantly think of is, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, I don't want to die, and all you're saying is, death come, death come, death come, because that's how your mind works, right? Why don't you rather focus on living an amazing life and just being ready for when death comes calling? Why do you have to be petrified? Don't cripple yourself with fear of death, because death will do what it has to do, regardless. It doesn't need your help, And so don't hasten the process by allowing fear to engulf you. It does nothing for you. It does nothing for you.
Wow. We have lots of questions. It is expected. Topics like this always generate,
of course,
all forms of questions, and some are afraid, actually. Some are even scared.
Please don't be.
Before we draw the curtain, let's acknowledge some of our viewers on Facebook.
Okay.
We have Rosemont Kwe, Angelina I, the leader and founder of Ethereum Mission himself, Brother Ismail Tete, and Eura Bena. So Brother Ismail says, it is only in dying that you truly love. It is only in dying that you truly love. Until the idea of death is comfortable to you, you are already dead. Until the idea of death is comfortable to you, you are already dead.
Yes.
My great light beyond the grave is what inspires me to live and be more and more beneficial and impactful to life.
Yeah. Yeah.
My great light beyond the grave is what inspires me to live and be more beneficial and impactful to life. Angelina I says, only in Ethereum Mission do people embrace death. I agree with this one. Sure. It's only in Ethereum Mission people will embrace death. I think it says something that she laughed. It says, dying to abusive relationships. Jessica, this is deep. There are a lot of questions. Are you with us on Thursday?
No, I'm not.
For some of the questions, I think you are the only, Ethereans, as the master says, you are all unique and can answer, so perhaps we may have to forward it to whoever comes. We will track it and forward it to whoever comes, and we believe the person can do justice to it. My personal question, I would like to find out, as usual, I like practical things, and so I want to find out what motivated this topic. At times almost, but I want to know what led to this topic.
Wow, what led to this topic? As I said in the beginning, I've been thinking about death in its many forms, right? Because you go through certain stages in life where you realize that you're being stagnant. And that's what it was for me, where I realized that I was at a certain stage where I was very stagnant in that particular area of my life. And that stagnancy wasn't doing anything for me. It was causing me to shrink. It was causing me to become less of myself. And so then I realized that what I had to do, which I was hesitating to do, was to make sure that stagnancy was killed off, right? To make sure that I died to that stagnancy, because it was only in dying to it that I would be able to become the person that I am. I'm this vibrant, exuberant human being who loves to live life. And I wasn't able to do that at the stage that I was. And it took a lot of pondering, a lot of thinking, do I really want to do this? What would it mean for me? Until finally, I realized, look, you have to, are you either going to cut it off and be done with it and die to that, or life is purposefully going to drag you out of it and make sure that you will die to that stage. And I had already experienced certain things where life had to drag me out painfully. I didn't want to go through that anymore. And if life was prompting me, it meant that I had to heed the prompt. And so I chose consciously to embrace the death of that stagnant stage that I was at. And I thought about how this was important to share with the rest of the world, because there are a lot of people who are most probably like me when I was in that stage, and all they need is a little nudge, a little push for them to be able to move and just blossom into life.
Wow, that's inspiring. Okay, so please give us the location of Ethereum worldwide, and then we draw the curtain.
Okay, so thank you so much for listening. Ethereum Mission is the Center for Spiritual Empowerment, and we have the collective vision of a unified world in which everyone is a catalyst for the activation and the promotion of the innate good in one another. This is what creates a beautiful world and what you and I should aspire to do. In Ethereum Mission, Ghana, we are located on the General Anchor Highway, next to the oil filling station at Sakaman in Accra. And our telephone numbers are 0264 177 633 and 0548 177 633. These are also our WhatsApp numbers. And so if you're interested in joining our platform so that you can receive our weekly lessons, our daily and weekly lessons, you can do so on there. If this work has been beneficial to you and has nourished you in any way or form, and you would like to contribute to it going on, you can contribute to the same numbers. These are our mobile money numbers, and we really and truly appreciate your support. Also in Ghana, we have a Takoradi branch that's located on Davis Street in the Anaji Estate, and the telephone number is 0561 166 330. In Kumasi, you're welcome to fellowship with us at the Derba Court Hotel behind Dr. Baidu in Adiambra, Kumasi. The telephone number is 0561 166 331. In the UK, we have a branch at 58 Corinth Park Avenue in Mitcham, Surrey, and the postcode is CR42DG, and the phone number is 0208 646 129. Thank you so much for joining us, and God bless you.
God bless you. And to our listeners and viewers, thanks for making time with us today. Please make a date with us on Thursday at 7 p.m. Ghanaian time. My name is Doki, and my producer has been Papa Smiley. Thanks for your time. Bye.
Father, Mother God, lift my vision beyond duality and seeming opposites to that sacred vision of your one and indivisible self. O God, grant me the blessed vision that sees only your divine presence in and through all of life. You are the only power without opposite. There is nothing else besides you. You encompass the earth, the solar and other starry systems and galaxies. You alone are God. To you I surrender always, and from you I draw my power. So now, my spirit rises with the spirit of life, and the sound of my voice echoes in the hearts of all men.
God is all that there is. God is all that life is. All our shades of what God is. All our rays of the wild.